Hare Krishna, Jagat Guru, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Anant Koti Vaishnavon ki jai. Today, we are going to study the verse number 4 of the 5th chapter of Bhagwat Gita as it is. And the name of this chapter is Karma Yoga, that is, doing action in Krishna consciousness. This is a very important chapter and it is going to dispel all our doubts regarding karma. In the beginning of this chapter, Arjun asked a question to Krishna that whether karma sannyas is better or doing karma in devotional service is better. Krishna answered Arjun in the verse number 2 by saying that both are good in the path of spiritual progress. But out of the two, that is the karma sannyas and working in devotional practice, working in devotional practice is certainly the best. Then further Krishna told about Nitya Sannyasi, which means a person who is a permanent renouncer. And we learnt about a permanent renouncer in the previous verse, that a person who does all his work only to please Krishna and neither hates the outcome of his work nor he aspires for any result for his own sense gratification. Such a person may be a householder, which means a grihastha, but such a person is a nitya sannyasi or a permanent renouncer because he neither has any attachment nor aversion with the fruits of his actions. Now let us try to understand that why is Krishna saying all this to Arjun. So Krishna is explaining about karma sannyas and working in devotion to Arjun because Arjun got confused when Krishna in the end of the 4th chapter told Arjun to accept karma sannyas and simultaneously asked him to stand up and fight in the mode of devotion. This instruction of Krishna created all the confusion in the mind of Arjun. Arjun was thinking that karma sannyas means stopping all kinds of work. And when Krishna asked him to stand up and fight, then Arjun got perplexed that how is it possible to not to do work and to do work in devotion at the same time. I am sure that you must be also thinking that what kind of instruction Krishna has given to Arjun. How is it possible to renounce work and to do all work in devotion at the same time? Srila Prabhupada says that Krishna, when he gives any instructions or says anything, it is always perfect. There is no ambiguity in it, but we, with our imperfect and limited intelligence, are unable to decipher the instructions of Krishna. And for this, a teacher is required who is in the disciplic succession of Guru Parampara. Srila Prabhupada says that when an exalted person like Arjuna, who is with Krishna himself, can get confused, then we can very well imagine what is our condition. Krishna in this verse is going to explain to Arjuna very clearly about Sankhya Yoga and Karma Yoga both. And whenever Krishna says anything to Arjun, it is actually meant for us to understand. Krishna said to Arjun that Arjun, previously you were talking like a very learned person because you said that by killing the relatives and seniors of one's own family, one goes to hell, and all this knowledge is, of course, from the Vedas. But what has happened to you now? Why are you talking like a child that you seem not to understand the karma sannyas and doing work in the devotional service, that is, in bhakti? This is the thing which Krishna is going to explain to Arjun, and through Arjun, he is actually going to explain to us. So we need to listen to Krishna very attentively. And by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, and by the mercy of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and my Shiksha Guru, His Grace Harimohan Das Prabhuji, we shall surely be able to understand today's verse. Now let us recite the verse number 4 of chapter number 5. Sankhya Yoga Prithak Bala Pravadante na Panditah Ekam api astitah samyak Ubhayo vindate phalam. Sankhya Yoga Prithak Bala Pravadanti na Panditah Ekam api astitah samyak Ubhayo vindate phalam. Sankhya Yoga Prithak Bala Pravadanti na Panditah Ekam api astitah samyak Ubhayo vindate phalam. Krishna says that only the ignorant people speak of karma yoga and devotional service as being different from the analytical study of the material world, that is the Sankhya Yoga. Sankhya Yoga Prithak Balah Pravadanti na Panditah. Krishna says that only the ignorant speak of Karma Yoga and devotional service as being different from the Sankhya Yoga. And those who are actually learned say that he who applies himself well to one of these paths, that is, to Karma Yoga or to the devotional service, they surely achieve the result of the both. Ekam apyasthit samyak ubhayo vindate phalam. So Krishna says that the intelligent people, they say that one who applies himself well to one of these paths, they achieve the result of the both, and only the ignorant people speak that Karma Yoga and devotional service is different from the Sankhya Yoga. Now we will read the Anvay given by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, and then we will read the purport given by Srila Prabhupada to have a better understanding of this very important verse. Sankhya Yoga, renouncing one's prescribed duty and worshipping Bhagavan by selflessly offering him the fruit of one's action. Prithag, different. Balah, the ignorant. Pravadanti, declare. Na, reject. Panditah, the learned. Ekam, in one. Api, even. Asthitah, being situated. Samyak, properly. Ubhayo, of both. Vindate, one obtains. Phalam, the result. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur ki jai. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that only the ignorant says that the renunciation of action, that is Sankhya Yoga, and worshipping Bhagavan by selflessly offering him the fruit of one's action, that is Nishkam Karma Yoga, are different. The wise men reject such opinions. Further, Chakravarti Pad says that by following either of the path correctly, one can attain the result of both Sankhya Yoga and Karma Yoga in the form of liberation from the material bondage. Vishwanath Chakravarti Pad says that Krishna said, O Arjuna, you have asked which of these two is superior. But this is not actually a question at all. The wise see no difference between them. For this purpose, to make it clear to Arjun, Sri Bhagavan is speaking this verse beginning with Sankhya. Here, Sankhya means being fixed on the platform of knowledge, which means that the living being is the spirit soul and not the material body. And once the person has this knowledge, then he automatically gets detached from his body. And when he gets detached from his own body, then he is no more attached with the body of others as well. That is, with the body of his so-called near and dear ones. This is called renunciation, which is the natural fruit of Sankhya Yoga. Chakravarti Pad further says that only children or fools say that Sankhya Yoga is different from Nishkam Karma Yoga. The wise men do not think like this. Now let us read Srila Prabhupada's purport to have a better understanding of this very important verse. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Prabhupada says that the aim of the analytical study of the material world is to find the soul of existence. The soul of the material world is Vishnu or the super soul. Devotional service to the Lord entails service to the super soul. One process is to find the root of the tree, and next process is to water the root. The real student of Sankhya philosophy finds the root of the material world, that is Vishnu, and then in perfect knowledge engages himself in the service of the Lord. Therefore, in essence, there is no difference between the two because the aim of both is Vishnu. Those who do not know the ultimate end say that the purposes of Sankhya and Karma are not same. But one who is learned knows the unifying aim in these two different processes. So Srila Prabhupada has very clearly said that there is no difference between Sankhya Yoga and Karma Yoga because the ultimate aim is to reach us to Vishnu. But the people, those who are not learned, who haven't studied Bhagwat Gita properly under the guidance of Guru Shishya Parampara, they find Sankhya Yoga and Karma Yoga to be different. Srila Prabhupada, in very simple words, says that the aim of Sankhya Yoga is to teach us that we human beings are not our body, but we are spirit soul. And Krishna is the supreme soul of this entire material world. And after having this knowledge that we are not body but spirit soul, it is not sufficient. Then comes the main purpose, that what is the work of the spirit soul. And the work of the spirit soul is taught in Karma Yoga. Prabhupada says that yoga means to connect. So the main aim of Sankhya Yoga is to give us the knowledge of who we are and whom do we actually belong to. And the Karma Yoga teaches us how to do all our work, all our actions only to please Krishna and not for our own sense gratification. This is called Nishkam Karma Yoga, which gradually leads a person to Bhakti Yoga. Srila Prabhupada says that Sankhya Yoga is the discovery of the self and Karma Yoga is the work done by the self. For example, having the knowledge of the root of the plant or a tree is called Sankhya Yoga. and then watering the root is called Karma Yoga. Srila Prabhupada says that if one comes to know about the root of the plant but doesn't water the root of the plant, then the plant will automatically dry. Similarly, having the knowledge that I am spirit soul and a part and parcel of Krishna, but not serving Krishna, which means not doing everything for the pleasure of Krishna, doesn't make the human life successful, because the sole aim of this most rare human life is to become Krishna conscious. Krishna personally came and has given us Bhagwat Gita. And in Bhagwat Gita, Krishna has explained about the Sankhya Yoga and Karma Yoga in such great detail in the second chapter, which is called the summary of Bhagwat Gita, only to teach we human beings so that we understand that we are spirit soul and not this material body. And having this knowledge, we shouldn't indulge in sense gratification activities. I'm sure that now we have properly understood that Sankhya Yoga and Karma Yoga may seem different externally, but the main purpose of both is to take us to Bhakti Yoga. Srila Prabhupada says that knowledge which is given in Bhagavad Gita is the only perfect knowledge, and rest all the knowledge which is given in all the schools, colleges and universities is imperfect knowledge. Prabhupada says that only Bhagavad Gita gives the knowledge of our true self, and all the so-called schools, colleges and universities which are supposed to be the center of knowledge give only body-centric knowledge and how to do more and more sense gratification. And because of the lack of the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, people are so depressed, dissatisfied and lonely in spite of having all the facilities of social media and advanced technology of better sense gratification. Bhagavad Gita teaches us that you are not your body. Your body is just a vehicle to reach you to the destination. And the destination is to get liberated from the cage of this temporary body and be situated in the permanent home, that is Golok Vrindavan Dham. Srila Prabhupada says that Bhagavad Gita can be read and understood only by the human beings, and the body of human being is got after 84 lakhs of species. So to get a human body is so rare, and after getting the human form of life, if it is only wasted in sense gratification, then it is the greatest loss for the living being. Today, we find so many old age homes. And the main reason behind these old age homes is this, that the children do not have the correct knowledge that they are spirit souls and their parents are a part of the Supreme Lord. Children lack the knowledge that their parents are representative of the Supreme Lord Krishna. And children do not care to take care of their parents because they feel that parents are a hindrance in their enjoyment. We may or may not agree, but the root cause of all the problems in the human society is this, that we ourselves do not have the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. And when we ourselves do not have the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, then how can our children have the knowledge of this great book Bhagavad Gita, which is no ordinary book, but it is Krishna himself who is in the form of a book and giving us all the instructions and guidance so gently. Now I am sure that we have properly understood the importance of Bhagavad Gita. And in this particular verse, Krishna says that only a child or an ignorant person can say that Sankhya Yoga and Karma Yoga are different. But wise men will never say so. Krishna says to Arjun that you were saying that by killing the elders and your kinsmen, you will eternally reside in hell. which means that you have the knowledge of the Vedas. Then how is it possible that you are having confusion in karma sannyas and doing all actions in devotion? Both mean the same. Srila Prabhupada says that Arjun knowingly asks such questions to Krishna so that Krishna gets an opportunity to clear all our doubts regarding karma. We should be deeply thankful to Arjun. Srila Prabhupada says that in simple words, the knowledge of Sankhya Yoga is like the theory and Karma Yoga is the practical. Without the complete knowledge of theory, how can one do the practical? So, in Sankhya philosophy, Krishna has explained about the true self of the living being, then, and who is the supreme soul, and what is the connection between the individual soul and the supreme soul. And after giving the Sankhya Yoga, Krishna gave the Karma Yoga, so that the individual soul, after having the perfect knowledge of his connection with the Supreme Krishna, should work for the happiness of Krishna and thus gradually become Krishna conscious, which is the sole aim of every human being. So we see that both the yoga, that is Sankhya Yoga and Karma Yoga, actually directs the living being towards Vishnu or Krishna. This way, the process of both the yoga can be different externally, but the end result is same. Sankhya Yoga is finding the root and Karma Yoga is watering the root. So both the process is to serve the root, and the main root or the soul of the entire creation is Sri Krishna. Srila Prabhupada says that it is only Krishna who resides in every living being as Supreme Soul or Paramatma. And we must do everything for the happiness of Krishna. I think now we have properly understood the meaning of Sankhya Yoga and Karma Yoga, and we have no confusions that Sankhya Yoga and Karma Yoga are different. For this, I thank Srila Prabhupada, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, and my Shiksha Guru, His Grace Harimohan Das Prabhuji, for making us understand the most secretive knowledge of Bhagwat Gita in such simple and easy manner. I thank you for listening to Krishna's words very attentively and patiently. Now we have understood that Sankhya Yoga and Karma Yoga are same, as both direct the individual towards Krishna consciousness or Krishna Bhakti. Now we shall meet next week and see what new Krishna is going to teach us. Till then, keep chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, read Bhagwat Gita, and share the video with others. Just in case you have any questions, any doubts, please do write in the comment box. I shall surely try to answer your questions by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.